off of how my cheekbones are set. So let's go into that shade right there. And let's use this brush to get that highlighted contour look that I want. And I kind of like to give a little bit of a glow to this little guest on my face that lives on my face. Just to give it an uplift, to say I know you're there and I can see that you're there. It's just a deep import blackhead that refuses to go away. And yes, I've popped it before and it's decided to still come back. And that is exactly what I was looking for right there. Perfect application, no problem. So now let's go back into the same dark shade from the NYX palette with this brush. And let's do this side of my face. And that is that. And now I'm going to blend so that there is no lines of demarcation between the blush or the highlighter or the foundation and the highlighter. Just to smooth it out. Kind of like I say in the music, let's gas it out, gas it out. Just like that. Okay, and I'm going to go now. I'm going to go in with this Lori palette right here, and I am just going to bronze it out with a little bit of bronzing highlights on my cheek in order to once again cut dimension between space and time, i.e. go away. Let's go back in here. Okay, and now I am also going to add a little bit to my forehead, and if I've used too much of a bit of a glitter, I'll just use this sponge to tone it down, because damp water seems to always tone down and make sugar very weak. If you know what I'm inferring to. If you watched the movie Brown Sugar, then you would know what I'm inferring to. I probably shouldn't have needed to say that though. That's where I first learnt of the term sex watching the movie Brown Sugar as a kid with Terrence Howard, by the way. Before you all knew him as Terrence Howard, I knew him as Gary. I know Terrence Howard, the Terrence Howard that you all know from Empire. I know him as Gary. And let's just take that and blend it out just a little bit so that my hair can look black again and not, well, you know, golden. Okay, so that is that right there. Now let me talk about my experience with this for a second. It's hot and it's not cayenne pepper. I said cayenne pepper in the last one. It's chili pepper, and it will burn your lip for an entire hour before it begins to cool down. So if you're going on a date and you're gonna choose to wear this one, specially made with cayenne pepper, I suggest get ready 3 hours early. 3 hours early so that you have 2 hours to be, an hour to become yourself again, and another hour so that you don't complain to your date that it's too hot. I can complain to Gary as Terrence Howard because I've known him as a kid, but if you're just meeting somebody for the first time, you don't want to complain to them in the way that I would complain to Gary and say, it's burning my lip. I'm just saying. And what shade is this? This is shade 001 Blush Blaze, and it is Chili Pepper Hot. So let me go in with a very light hand with this because it's going to take about an hour to calm down on my lips after I apply it. And a very little goes a long way because of how hot it is. Very, very little of this product goes a long way because of the heat of the chili peppers. And going on top of that to add a little bit of color, this is the Avon True Color Lip Crayon in the shade Plum Perfect. And I've had this as a kid, gifted to me by Terrence Howard as Gary as a kid. And I've had it ever since. He gave it to me. He gave it to me. So, and now I still have it. But I'm using it now. And that is the complete look and just the beginnings of the story in regards to Debbie Lawrence and Narissa Percocets together as mother and daughter. Just wait until I tell the rest later. But that is the beginning of the look. Now let's bring our guest back in, which is the white ash plate, in order to see what my lip my skin looks like. I'm using the mirror as a blocker to block the light from telling a half-ash story. So currently nothing. My skin looks like skin with a little bit of flesh tone color added to it, which means I believe we've taken care of the situation of 120 yards of I know how to apply my makeup properly. Otherwise I wouldn't have created any makeup to apply if I didn't know how to apply it at all, if you know what I'm saying. Don't create something that you don't know how to use. So, if you do not know how to use a product, do not create it or do not create something similar, because you look like a fool using something that you've created that you can't explain why you created something you don't know how to use. With that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.